Good evening, everyone. Welcome to 12th edition of India Food Forum. And I would like to thank everyone to be present here for this distinguished panel discussion of HPMF. And today's subject is evolution of supply chain and procurement from cost center to profit center. So we'll start our discussion. And my first question, before starting my first question, I would like to put some light on this particular topic. So though the subject is evolution of procurement from cost center to profit center, basically cost, we can't call procurement as a cost center. Actually, we are the people who guide all department to manage their cost. So our always duty is to create environment in each and every organization to manage their cost, and considering we are there to help each and everyone to how we can generate profits by doing our operation. So just to put some more light and more focus on this particular topic, we will just start our panel discussion here. So my first question to Mr. Nitin Nagrale, our most favorite Nitin da. So Nitin sir, so considering you have spent more than 25 to 30 years in this industry, and you have handled n number of projects, right from handling operation till pre-opening projects. So I would like to ask one thing. Can you just share your thoughts on SCM functioning, like how it differs when you manage your day-to-day operation, and again to opening doing a pre-opening project? Then how this SCM operation you can tell us, like whether it's a cost center and how it can be proved as a profit center for this.
Good evening, everyone. So let's first understand what do we mean by cost center, and let's understand what is profit center, because it's important for us. Most of you are from procurement, and we incur cost, and hence we are cost center, because we spend money for somebody else. We are just agencies or consolidators or facilitators, so we do not incur anything of our own. So hence, we being called as a cost center itself is wrong. That theory is wrong. Cost for somebody else, we are facilitators. But in that process, we save a lot of money. Rupee earned is equivalent to rupee saved is equivalent to rupee earned, and hence it could be called as a profit center. So that's the basic understanding which all of us need to have. So when we talk about the pre-opening versus the operations, these are two different ball games altogether. There has to be a different mindset when you are in pre-opening and a different mindset when you are in operational environment. Now a running hotel needs things now. They need it for tomorrow or maybe day after in the worst case scenario. You do not plan really for a long term, but in pre-opening, you think at the life of the organizations. Take an example of a five-star hotel. You buy crockery, glassware, silverware, carpet, furniture, fixture, everything. It has to last long. So there has to be so one is the, I would say, the caliber of the purchasing professional varies, definitely, because you need to have a long-lasting future planning. You need to also have a wisdom which thinks of products which will be used long-term. It has to be now many hotels, you must have seen, they change the carpet maybe after 15 years. Furniture after 10 years. A lot of hotels do not even change cutlery for 5 years and 6 years. But perishables is gone on the next day. Worst case scenario, you might have a 15-day stock in your organization. So, so when you talk about cost center and profit center, one, the pre-opening gives you more opportunity because you do a lot of research, you do a lot of sampling, you get different suppliers to come in, you travel yourself, you visit different organizations, produce manufacturing facilities. In operation, you may not do that because you don't get time. Because it's so tough and tight that the purchase manager is, I would say, master of everyone. Initially, it used to be you were jack of all trades and master of none. Today, you have to be a master of everything. You have to understand engineering, you have to understand housekeeping, you have to understand food and beverage. You also need to understand what will go in your front office. Once you master and that trade, and when you learn how to organize, then you're recognized. And that helps you to develop relationship with vendors. That helps you to bring in more profitability. Once you have loyal vendors, cost automatically goes down. So these are certain differentiators. Thanks, Rai.
Thank you so much. So my next question to Mr. Sunil Kuttan. So Sunil, you are leading supply chain for the world's biggest, I can say, business tycoon family. And it's always challenging job to work for these kind of families. And at the same time, like they have their in-house team there who can keep tab on each and everything what you people do. So just tell me, like again, in current scenario, you are the one of the biggest convention center what you are operating. So tell me, like in this kind of challenging situation, how you prove yourself like the department what you're running is not a cost center. So it's not easy to everything has to be in a profit, but still to convey to the management how you manage this terminology of SCM from cost center to profit center.
Good evening, everyone. So Mahendra, this question specifically on cost center vis-a-vis profit center. I think Dr. Nagrale mentioned specifically on, why this is called as a cost center. I mean, if you look at our procurement, we do a lot of spend analysis, right? So technically we spend. So that is the reason, it's a myth like, we are a spending department. But if you look at minutely, our entire activity of supply chain starting from procurement, I mean, if you take supply chain as a whole, you have, it's a combination of few activities, like starting from procurement, then you have logistics as a part, then you have warehousing as a part, there's also manufacturing somewhere in the supply chain. So in every activity, if you see, what is our role? I mean, although our role is to bridge the gap from suppliers to the operations, what operation needs. But if you see in every activity, we bring value into it. Now, starting from in procurement, you do basic negotiations, do a comparison, and then bring cost negotiation. But over and above cost negotiation, procurement has larger role. I mean, if you look at on a larger purview, in a supply chain world, we go into an extent of doing value analysis. When you say value analysis, is if an organization need a product, you also try to bring in very alternative products, where that may give you more cost benefit, maybe cost not benefit, but you may get more durability. I mean, we're not talking about specifically talking food, maybe it's a non-food and equipment. When it comes to an equipment, you also think about getting more extended warranty kind of thing, so that you get a warranty, you get an equipment of, let's say, $100, but that $100 after a year will have again some spend for an AMC. But at a time of negotiation itself, sometimes under 100 rupees, you try to bring the 2 years extended warranty. So that value addition comes under one procurement. Coming to logistics is, where you have a fleet of vehicles to be moved throughout the country. Now, in that also, there is a lot of value addition can be done by the supply chain team, where, how much a truckload should go, instead of 5 deliveries, can it go 2 deliveries? So all this accumulates to a cost saving. Now when you say cost saving, it's not since it is not top line. Now when you say top line is a revenue, so it doesn't reflects in revenue, but you have a good amount of savings done in that. So when you take a overall saving, it directly adds into the EBITDA. I mean, in the profit when you do that analysis as such. Over and above, our procurement as a function, we have a lot of strategy which we define to bring in efficiency into the business. Now, with efficiency, I mean, today in a restaurant world, let's say restaurant world, you have 10, 100 units in different, you've been handling that kind of situation. If you break one element of, or if you kind of do one optimization itself of one element of, let's say, on a logistic point of view, you could save a lot. So those kind of value addition we do. I mean, value addition, and also it adds up business efficiency. I mean, it drives operational efficiency. So business करने के लिए easy हो जाता है. So that again adds up. So you may not have numbers to it, but if you dive deeply, you will really come to know that this function itself is a purely driving the profit. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunil. Thank you. So my next question will be to Mr. Mohann Upaddhye. So we will not discuss about cost center and profit center because you are the one of the most experienced person. Mohanji, I would like you to put some light on, like, you have did a very big projects like constructing hotels and service apartments like Western and all. So while doing this Western project, you must have closely worked with Oberoi Realty people, the people who construct buildings, hotels, and everything. So you just tell me, while operating this kind of projects, so you are like whole and sole responsible guy for that particular project. Then how you are operating your functioning and department, so that so they will be in a comfortable position, like whatever this person is doing in front of all our big shot reality guy. How you're going to manage those events, like functions?
Hi, good evening, everyone. First of all, let me just tell you the Western, what name you took, no? That's the place where I met Nitin first. He was a pre-operation manager, and I was from the Oberoi Realty for project. So typically, the project procurement is slightly different than your pre-op or operations thing, because here what happens, there is a longer period to start with. So you get a lot of scope for value addition or value enhancement. Because typically I remember, because when this hotel was from the Oberoi Realty Group, which are again, as you rightly said, from in the construction industry. So that was the first hotel. So there were a lot of challenges there, because every time you need to explain them why exactly you're doing that, why you're procuring. So actually he used to say, कितना खर्चा कर रहा है तू करके. I mean, एक खर्चा करने वाला department करके, it was like it was known initially, and to convert that into पैसा बचाने वाला department, it was a big challenge for me. And thanks to my team at that time, whether it's in terms of sourcing materials from different places or giving alternate material, as a lot of things we did. And then we, at the end of the project, we were kind of honored that yes, I mean what I said was kind of, we were able to do that. So typically, if say that it was very challenging to convert a cost center to a profit center, but we did successfully do that.
Wow, that's great. Thank you.
I want to add one thing here. How many of you know that Westin was not supposed to be a hotel? It was supposed to be a commercial building. So there was Commerce 1 and Commerce 2. So Commerce 1 अभी भी चल रहा है, ये Commerce 2 था, या उल्टा? ये Commerce 1 था जो जिसको 5-star होटल में convert किया गया. It was an office complex. अब इतना difficult था वो, because I was there with Mr. Upaddhye, that this building did not have whatever is required for a 5-star hotel. वहाँ पर ना तो वो fire safety के लिए था, ना kitchen के ventilation के लिए था, ना gas line था, ना lift था, ना कुछ भी था. So once they had to convert that, means I used to see this because our GM was Jan Bungart, and he came in, and then he also didn't know what to do, because suddenly now they want to convert a commercial building into a 5. तो एक अलग से complex side में बनाया जहाँ पर सारी services है. वहाँ ही kitchen है, main kitchen, वहीं पर laundry है, वहीं पर offices है. वो बाहर बनाया और जमीन के नीचे से tunnel निकला. उस टनल को कनेक्ट किया गया इस कॉमर्स 1 को, and that became a 5-star hotel. So that credit goes to Mr. Upaddhye. So it was never a 5-star hotel.
This was something which no one was aware. Yes. Thanks for that. So my next question to Mr. Ram Dwivedi. Ram, like though you are working presently with Holiday Inn, but everyone knows, like you are one of the you are the Lalit guy, to be very frank.
Thank you.
So Ram, see, while handling supply chain operations in Lalit, so you are coordinating with regional team, at the same time your central purchase team was sitting in Delhi. And again, in this scenario, like I am handling the similar role in my company. So like we people always judge by the central team with other regions. So again, when you talk about other regions, then geographically, and there are lots of elements which varies from region to region. So tell me, like, what was your expertise you put while handling those kind of situation, wherein you are being always judged by a central purchase team. If you could just tell something about that.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Vriksh Dwivedi. Namaskar, Jai Sri Ram. First of all, I would like to introduce myself, Vriksh Dwivedi, and having almost 25 plus of expertise in unit purchase and contract purchase. And the name he bought, the Lalit, is very close to my heart because I worked for 8 years that place. And I did a lot of exposure over there. I was not having expertise from the 5-star background, but the team there, the GM and everybody supported me very best. And immediately, it is, I will add here that after joining of within 3 months, the GM, Mr. Sudhendu Pandit, he gave a compliment that Ram is doing wonders in the purchase department. Now coming to the point of the procurement of centralized purchase. So definitely me as a purchase guy over there and adding a lot of value to the procurement and my centralized contract purchase at Delhi. So I used to work as per the centralized contract and adding a lot of value to my vendors and my organizations. Used to give a lot of feedback about the vendors to, to the corporate, that these vendors, because Mumbai is the hub for the most of the suppliers. So I used to give a lot of feedbacks, and many vendors came up in those centralized contracts. Now, converting the vendor into centralized contract and adding 12 units. Geographically, it is not in one place, but 12 different cities. And you know very well that in all the locations, the supply chain is not so easy. Maybe the geographical issues, materials are not available, not a good vendor over there. So being a centralized purchase, what we can add is that the unit which is maybe in Goa or maybe which is in south of Kerala, they are not having good resources over there. So doing all the centralized purchase for all the major materials use a lot of values, especially for the unit which are in far away in the cities of the India. So see, negotiation is one part of saving money, but at the same time, supply chain management. That means planning of the materials, having the proper schedule of deliveries, giving leverage to the vendors, by providing them the consumptions at the beginning of the year so that they are planned, they can give you the best price, they can support you in the supplies as well. So you got the right product at the right time, at the right at the time of deliveries. So these all things add a lot of values in the organizations, and we can support and save a lot of cost in terms of your supplies, best quality all the time. These all things. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Ram. So my next question to Mr. Harvey Rodrigues. So Mr. Harvey, so like you are the only very closely working with Hiranandani family, handling their two very flagship properties. So like you are closely working with Hiranandani and their teams, and though this property are not so huge, but again, I know there are lots of complications. There are lots of people who are keeping tab on each and every operation, supply chain operations. So tell me, like, when there are so many people are judged, like you are closely judged by owners and their other peoples also. So in this scenario, how you close deals so that they all will be think like the deal is being closed by Harvey is the right one.
Good evening, all friends. I am Harvey Rodrigues. I handle the Rodas and Meluha, and also the Fern group of hotels. And and also the president of Western region of HPMF. You can convince your owner when you are ethically right, and when you're ethically right, your voice comes out strong, so that the owner also knows that what he says is right, it has to go by it. If you hesitate at that very moment, they also are dealing with many projects and in large amounts. Hotels for them is just a small amount. So you have to convince them, make yourself right, at times present the product in front of them. They too are travelers. So always I hit myself very high so that they cannot say no to it. That is how I convince the owners and get the products, which is always said yes.
Okay, so in this scenario, you must be doing lots of cost analysis and workings and everything. So just tell me, like, when it comes to, if have you ever come across the such kind of situation wherein someone have objected for those transactions and all?
Yes, you find department heads also objecting. But when you show your calculation, I don't want to name specific any department, but when you show your working to all of them, the savings what you do, because you are not a center who is just doing expenses. You can show them the savings, the benefit of the product, and which will last not less than 3 years, or it can go to 5 years. That benefit helps the department to work smoothly, and they get convinced.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Harvey. So my next question to Mr. Sunil Kuttan. Mr. Sunil, I would like to share your thoughts on how IT is changing face of hospitality procurement, like, how it is benefiting in terms of running smooth supply chain operations. So if you could just tell me, like, what kind of information technology tools you are using which are helping in your operations.
So Mahendra, I think our entire procurement overall it's just a transactional. Most of the activity is transactional, right? So a lot of transaction happens in the entire procurement activity. Now we are highly dependent on the IT thing, because our entire reports or our entire analytics is all based on the IT. The better system you have, the better ERP or better system you have, you could our job is if you have to present a report, for instance, and you do a lot of manual activity, making an Excel, making a report, doing pivot and everything. So if your ERP or software, whatever ERP you have, is much more efficient. I mean, with AI coming in, I'm sure on a fingertip you will get all these reports, analytics, data analytics, or analysis which you are doing for annual tendering, or live tracking kind of thing. So everything boils down to that software. IT is definitely a kind of a backbone for us in terms of getting the entire synopsis of procurement. So your question is kind of answered, I believe. I mean, unless you have something other, because absolutely. When you mentioned IT is a part of our job itself. I mean, it's
I do agree. So, like, when you specifically put some light on ERP, so I would want Mr. Mohann Upaddhye to put some his thought. Like, Mr. Upaddhye, like, you do lots of turnkey projects. Yeah. So the ERP is always very key source for all of us while handling supply chain operations. So how ERP helps you guys in doing those projects?
See, typically in ERP, any new project, we have to put a budget. As a zero level budget to start with. When we don't have any drawings, we don't have anything, we have some kind of, based on thumb rules, we put a zero level budget. And that budget gets kind of graduated to level 1, level 2, etc. As you get more and more details, like more things are formed up, because we don't know right now, I mean, initially we don't know what kind of finishing is going to be in the rooms, what kind of, what kind of restaurants are going to come. So we have kind of some, based on some area into some rate, the thumb rule rates, what based on our earlier doings. And once we start giving the orders, then it gets gradually changed. So it helps in terms of, when we use ERP, in terms of budget monitoring is typically concerned, then cash flow generation, all those things, it helps a lot, because at the end of the day, for any person who's developing the hotel, he needs to know what money has to arrange for. So it typically helps us in that way.
Okay. So
I'd like to add some value into IT.
Yes.
Yes. So IT is like, as a human, जैसे हम लोग ऑक्सीजन सांस लेते हैं, वैसे IT हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए हमारा एक बैकबोन है और सांस है. उसके बगैर हम 1 सेकंड 1 मिनट में नहीं चल सकते हैं. और IT is very important part of the any business, because as a material manager, as a material department, every time we used to have generate report, maybe weekly report, fortnightly report or monthly report. So if we have a good ERP system, we have got good management system, material management systems, so our life is easy. Because anytime, as a manager, I want to know what is my, fast moving items. So immediately I need to generate report. I need to say that what is my slow moving item. So I need to report immediately, generate report. I want to know what is ABC. So I need. So that's how it plays very important role. My par stock, my low stock, everything comes from through the IT and from the reports. So yes, we have if we have good ERP system, we have good MMS systems, it makes our life easy.
Thank you so much, Ram.
Thank you.
So my last question to Mr. Nitin Nagrale. So we all are aware that HPMF have always added value to each and everyone's life, and just due to HPMF, we are standing strong in in our organization. So Nitin sir, if you could just put some focus and how HPMF is gonna help each and every individual who are there in procurement fraternity, if we can have some kind of tools where we can get educated and we can prove ourselves like this supply chain operation what we are doing is one of the best in the organization.
Thank you for this question, Mahi. First of all, HPMF just completed 14 years on 26th of November. So congratulations to all of us. When we created HPMF, it was a very selfish initiative, wherein we felt that we need to get the information, we need to know who are the suppliers, we need to know how to buy. So that was we. But today it has turned into us and you. So it's not just for we, wherein it's not that it's being helping us, but it's helping the community. It's not just helping the purchase managers based in Mumbai or Maharashtra, but it's present now in 48 cities in India, more than 25 states in India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Maldives, even Middle East. So the purchase managers are present in those many countries and it's helping. So the major objective of HPMF is development of purchasing professionals, a single line objective, simple. How it helps is, one, it has helped lot of us to understand our own jobs. Lot of us, what we were doing is we would take 3 quotations, whatever the chef or somebody else told us, we went ahead and we started to organize. We were not understanding what we were doing. Today, we evaluate ourselves and there is a work-life balance which has come in. There is a lot of confidence which has come in. There is a lot of respect which has come in, and I'm thankful to our collective approach which is called HPMF. So what we do is we share a lot of information. So we have several WhatsApp groups. On my phone I've got 60 WhatsApp groups, and those people share a lot of information with each other. So there are people who would ask simple questions like, where can I get this product from? And then there are responses from the other members. Then the other question is, how can I buy this? So there are responses. Then there is question like, can I buy this from this vendor? So that also has started coming in, wherein there are vendors who take people for granted. And then now collectively we started answering that. I just want to give a small example. A week ago, there was a case wherein one of the owners hit a very senior purchase manager, he slapped him in Goa. We collectively not just made a police complaint against the owner, but we have blacklisted that owner. Nobody will ever join that hotel again. Now, so what has happened is, people who were taking everybody for granted, कि मैं तो कोने पर हूँ, क्या करूँगा, चलेगा नहीं. It is not the same thing now. So collectively हम जब झुंड में रहेंगे, तो I'm sure we will do better. ये योगी जी का डायलॉग नहीं है, ये पहले से है. So हाँ, कि हम all of us collectively has to stay together. All of us will be better if we are together, and that's what networking will help us. So I've always believed that if you're not networking, then you're not working. Your network is your net worth, ये तो slogan था ही. But I am saying, if you're not networking, if you're not meeting people, if you're not developing relationship, then you're not working. Because बाकी जो आप दिन भर में काम करते हो वो तो आपका काम है. But आपको grow करना है, बढ़ना है आगे, you have to network. आज ये शेफ्स का जो इवेंट था, इमेजिन करिए आज if you don't have good relationship with chef, तब वो always वो झगड़ा चलता रहेगा, ये तुमने नहीं किया, मैंने नहीं किया. The day you develop relationship with your user department, your 50% job is done. वो खुद ही कहेगा ये इससे ले लेना भाई, ये आ गया है चल जाएगा भाई, ये मैं मैनेज कर लूँगा भाई. So this happens once you have good relationship. But if you snobbish है, मेरा नाक ऊपर है, मैं ये सब जानता हूँ, ये जब होगा वो नहीं चलेगा. So HPMF helps in creating relationships, developing. I'm on advisory board of 3 chefs associations in India. And I meet a lot of chefs. So वो हो गया है कि आप कई लोगों को मिलते हैं. You are representing the fraternity. It's not just Nitin Nagrale. It's HPMF. And then कई जगह पर मैं जाता हूँ, हम कई purchase manager chefs को मिलते हैं, हम बातें करते हैं, housekeeping को मिलते हैं, engineering, IT वगैरह. So that's one. So networking is one aspect. Second, training and development. We do a lot of training in terms of sharing information, bringing in best practices. Even we have written a book on basics of hospitality procurement. If you do not have a copy, please ask for it. We'll be happy to give it to you. I'm talking about the purchasing managers. If you don't have it, please take it. That's a Bible for any entry person in the hospitality industry. Soon, we are coming up with a portal called Ask Purchase, which will be managed and owned by HPMF. That's going to be something which is happening for the first time in the world. And I'm saying that with a lot of confidence, because this portal will not just help you to get quotations, but it will straight away give you comparisons. It will straight away tell you which are the vendors. It will go and hit the supplier's portal, and then the supplier will know, okay, there is a requirement in Ram's office or Mahendra's office or Sunil's office of a particular product straight. You don't even need to think कि ये product का supplier कौन होगा. As soon as you upload that, it will go and hit those kind of suppliers. They will get to know there is a requirement here, and then you can quote, you can make a comparison, you can do analysis, you can utilize AI and do comparative analysis on not just price, but credibility of the vendor, the capability of the vendor, infrastructure facility of the vendor, all of that. Soon we will have most of our purchase managers or all of our purchase managers FASTag certified. So I'm talking to the FSSAI director at the moment, and as all of us are food safety handlers, so HPMF all members would be FASTag certified. So that's coming in very, very soon. Soon we will be coming up with something called 100-point agenda, which we'll be doing in next 1,000 days. So we have created this 100 pointers which will differentiate HPMF than any other organization in the world. At this moment, we are the largest hospitality procurement organization in the world. And soon we will be the largest fraternity, any trade in the world. So that's going to happen very, very soon. So, and we have a great advisory board which is from different field. And so these advisory board members will become responsible for different activities of these 100 pointers which we are saying. And it will work like an organization. It's going to be, so what we are doing is it will be an organization which will have its own CEO, it will have its own finance person, it will have its own managers. And they will invest themselves, they'll get the money, they'll spend the money, and at the end of the activity, they'll come back with the balance sheet. So all of this is going to happen, and this is first time that all of us work for different organizations, but collectively we are one. We are an organization which is to reckon. We are an organization wherein a lot of people say कि आप लोग बहुत बढ़िया काम करते हैं, आपके events अच्छे होते हैं. But the day we finish this 100-point agenda, I promise nobody will be able to touch us anytime in next 10 years. This is absolutely brilliant stuff, and we'll announce that somewhere around 15th of December. We have done a lot of work. I have been working on it with some teams. So there's a strategy team of 150 members already working on this for last 3 months. 150 purchase managers identified from different hotels of India, and they have been working on this. So this then becomes an activity which we will do. Then utilization of AI, because all of us must utilize what's easily available. Utilization of chat GPT. We talked about ERP. So enterprise resource planning. Remember enterprise resource planning. So that's management of resources for the organization, not just for one organization. So when you have different hotels in group, or when you have different restaurants in your group, so all the restaurants कहाँ क्या हो रहा है नहीं पता चलता. तो these softwares will help you कि वहाँ पर चिली ज़्यादा पड़ा हुआ है तो आपको खरीदने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, वहीं से शिफ्ट हो जाओ. तो सुनील्स पॉइंट वाज लॉजिस्टिक्स. सो यू ब्रिंग इन द लॉजिस्टिक्स, इंश्योर वो जो स्टॉक वहाँ डेड स्टॉक है, मूव नहीं हो रहा है, वो कहीं और चले जाए. So you not just save money, you create profitability in the organization. So HPMF is a force to reckon. It empowers the purchasing managers to work better, and all of us must participate actively to help this vision of Mr. Deshpande and everybody else of us to be better, to be different, and to create legacy for the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. So, in short, Mr. Nagrale have summarized everything like what we were talking about. Like the evolvement of procurement from cost center to profit center, it's not just about what deals we are cracking, it's all just about using our internal resources, using our network, and it's not about all your saving on the paper what you're doing, it's all what to bring efficiency in your operation. That's what we can say. So we already concluded all our questions. If if you have any questions, we are open for the questions now.
It was a good debate. आपका forum बहुत बढ़िया काम कर रहा है. So thanks for all these things कि HPMF जो नई चीज़ें ला रहा है. मेरा because I am from the food background, तो मेरा एक point था कि how you are considering food procurement in terms of the convenience, because there are many things. आप ingredients की बात करते हैं तो बहुत सारे ingredients हैं जो chef के हिसाब से सही होते हैं, लेकिन उनका convenience बढ़े तो ऐसी कुछ इनोवेशन आप ढूंढते हैं बाजार से, यार आपके कुछ सजेशंस में आए और आप वहाँ पे कुछ इनहेरिट करें फ्रॉम योर पॉइंट टू द किचन, तो ऐसा कुछ आप काम कर रहे हैं या फिर ऐसी कुछ चैलेंजेस आपके सामने आ रही है और उसके लिए आप एक्सटर्नल एडवाइस कुछ लेते हैं या?
To make this work go more smoothly, we have a practice of saying sample report. We never allow, we ourselves allow vendors to come at our doorstep, and we don't say for them no. They give us the sample, we take the sample, create that report and hand it over to the chef. Tomorrow, that same product, but of another brand which you are using continuous, is not available. But to save your time, you have a report and the chef has answered good for it, immediately you can procure it. Without that time even chef raising a question, why did you bring it? This validation and this reports helped us to say yes, not to say not available. So this helps all the vendors, like where the place I am sitting in a hub where many vendors come during the day, but I never leave them by saying no, I don't have time. Because they are the messengers who gives you the product and the product knowledge, which is more better that you can save for yourself, you can give it to the team and explain to them, because nobody goes directly to the department.
I'll add to it. So we are like train stations, bus stations, airports. हमारे पास में बड़े सारे suppliers आते हैं, बड़े सारे suppliers आते हैं. What happens, as what Harvey was saying, we are the first point of contact for any organization. So many times, it's like आज मैंने देखा there are 4 मसाला suppliers यहाँ पर आज उन्होंने stalls लगाए हुए हैं. हम हर जगह पर गए और हर जगह पे हमने कहा कि हम business देंगे, हर जगह पे. But so this is what happens when you are at the purchasing department. You always ensure that you get products. Now you have got more knowledge sometimes than the user, because you understand कि नहीं ये तो मथानिया चिली इसी के पास मिलता है, यहाँ पर जीरा जो है वो जीरा मंडी से आ रहा है, यहाँ पर जो then you talk about दाल कि नहीं ये तो नागपुर से आया हुआ है, ये मध्य प्रदेश की दाल है. तो कई सारी चीज़ें you start becoming an expert. And once you are an expert, the organization starts getting benefited because we are consolidators. So when you talk about how does it help the user department many times get filtered information because we have gone through it. We also ensure that we visit the supplier premises, train the suppliers, educate them, tell them what is needed. Now, FSSAI norms are constant throughout, but there are norms of the organization which define or differentiate the organization differently. Like Taj has different ways and means of approving suppliers, Overall and Marriott have different ways and means. Certain organizations follow international standards. So what happens is the supplier gets to learn more. आज एक सप्लायर बैठा हुआ है समझिए देहराबस्सी पंजाब में, उसको ये नहीं पता कि मुझे न्यूजीलैंड के नॉर्म्स क्या फॉलो करने. टुडे वी प्रोसेस द न्यूजीलैंड मीट इन देहराबस्सी एंड that processing plant has become the best plant in Asia because they started following the norms of what New Zealand follows. So I'm saying the user starts to get more knowledge because these buyers get to meet a lot of, so that is one. Second, you train a lot of suppliers, you get international, you have access to international products. You have access to creating something which a chef may not have or a user may not have. But through us, collectively, then we get that access. We also know that, okay, a particular supplier hai, who's good at making a name badge, can make a trophy. So then something can be created. So curation, customization, all of that happens because these departments keep their eyes and ears open. I don't know whether I spoke sense.
Wanted to add one more thing. Like when I talk about the convenience, because chefs are making the meals and everything in a certain time. Like if we say they are making the dish in 30 minutes and they have some pain points, just making this 30 minutes to 10 minutes. So if they bring this type of problems to you and your organization are doing some innovations in this and they are just doing some R&D through other organizations something.
Yeah. So I can address this question very easily. So as a K Hospitality, we are operating around 500 plus outlet at 78 locations in India. So when you specifically ask about bringing convenience for my culinary team, our focus is to bring convenience for culinary, at the same time efficiency in our operations. So though they are a culinary team who are cooking food, but at the same time we are working on several projects where we can cut the processes. So in that particular thing, if chefs are making bulk gravies in the night, so we are working with similarly some organization who are replicating our recipes and making those gravies at their central kitchen. They're either deep freezing or retorting those, and then we are circulating those gravies to all outlets across India. So these are the processes which can be used. This is one of our old gravies. Then when you come to cut vegetables, so again this is one of the most time-consuming tasks. So we have a recipe based what kind of cut we need in our regular operation. So we plan all those cuts and we have instructed one organization like you have to give us this kind of vegetable in this particular cuts. We are getting it cuts, we are converting into IQF and transporting those cut vegetable in all across Mumbai and other states. So this is the similar thing what you're actually talking about. So so as a procurement, it's all our responsibility to understand what all new technologies are there. So we all know what only retort or ambient temperature, but there are lots of technologies are there like Lagarde retort, then match technology introduced by Tata Foods. So these all are technology which we have to learn, understand what the market is running, and in this way you can bring efficiency and some value addition from the supply chain point of view for your organization. So these are some points you're talking about. So
and also just by changing packaging, you can even save cost and you become more efficient. Like being shelf stable. So that a lot of us don't even use that.
so thank you so much for you like to bringing this point on this table, because these are something which you do very regularly, but lots of maybe 5-star hotels or restaurants they don't do. But these are some practices if we can follow. So it's always you can save money and time in your organization. And again, through this process you can stand strong in your organization.
I would like to add some value through this. That developing new vendors, getting new materials to our organizations, for the efficiency, increasing efficiency of the user department, and giving them ease at the work time. So it is always, as a purchase, we are always in a hunt of, better supplier better products, you know. So this is a continuous and ongoing process throughout the year. It doesn't mean that once in a year we do the annual contracting and then the process is end. No, there is always, process is always on, as rightly mentioned by Mahendra, Shinde and Nitin sir, that we are there, the first point of contact, and we always, take a vendor if it is samples or quotation very seriously, and and we ensure that get a very right appropriate report, and we do go to a user department. We explain them how your product can add value to their department, how by supplying to you, how it can add value to you. So that's our core competencies. Our core, KRA of the purchase is developing new vendors for having good vendors, good quality, good rate. Thank you.
I have a question. So being in the field of consulting since more than a decade now and designing back areas of restaurants across the country, one problem that I have been facing is the cost of real estate is very high, especially in metro cities. And somehow these architects are involved before the kitchen consultant or the restaurant consultant goes. So सारी जगह तो वो लोग टेबल कुर्सी में ले लेते हैं, बैक एरिया के लिए जगह मिलती नहीं है. तो प्रॉब्लम ये हो रहा है कि वॉक इन तो मतलब शायद ही डालने मिलता है मुझे, मतलब किसी का बजट अच्छा होगा तो डालने देंगे, नहीं तो वो तो सपना ही रह जाता है. स्टोर रूम ऐसा मिलता है जैसे कि माचिस का डब्बा दे रहे हैं. So it becomes now the major challenge that I'm trying to put across here is because the real estate space given for storage is very less. The challenge that I dealing with vendors is the rates come only based on MOQs and payment terms and etc., which is understandable. But the biggest problem is because we don't have space for storage, we need to order on daily basis. अब restaurants में problem सबसे ज़्यादा ये होती है, सेल होती है शाम को 7 बजे बाद, इनको ऑफिस बंद होता है 6 बजे, हमको यही नहीं पता हमारा बिकने क्या वाला है, और रात को जब माल खत्म हो जाता है तब हम अगर ऑर्डर डालने जाते तो माल आता नहीं है. So it's a constant issue. They are closed on weekends, we are busy on weekends. So there is a constant fight between the restaurants and the vendors. See, my suggestion is HPMF is such a big thing. They need to explain vendors the challenges that we face. We can't keep functioning the way the world has been functioning from the 9 to 6. They have to understand that we can't give also MOQs that they demand. They have to come and understand that this is a genuine challenge, which we face. Without a proper, see, as a consultant, that's one thing which I do is, when I'm hiring the executive chef, I'm hiring the purchaser at the same time. Because it is very, very important कि ingredient नहीं आएगा तो खाना तो बनने नहीं वाला है. तो that is very, very important. और वो negotiations और उसके लिए chef का काम नहीं हो, उसके 50 काम और होते हैं. So I mean to say is, that thing has to go to vendors, that they have to try and understand this 9 to 6 is not going to work for the long run. And they can't have these obnoxious quantities requirements given to us for, the right rates.
But I think I'll give you shortly. So I was a part of. So so. So I eventually ended up making 30 restaurants. But when we started the first restaurant, I had the same challenge. We had to operate that restaurant, and getting an MOQ of 10 kg, 5 kg is always a challenge. I mean, that's how the vendor will eventually work. I mean, everyone has to sustain, right? They're running a business. No, but when you have when you have a growth plan of making multiple restaurants, now you have a complete solution already in the business. Like a model of. No, it's not about GIPL. There are 3 PLs, 4 PLs, 5 PLs, industry business onto the place. So you will have to get in touch with them and get the solution. Otherwise, you will never. You run one restaurant, you have to, then depend on the vendors, and you have to comply with their lead time or their MOQ. You have no. Otherwise, you'll have to take the bag and go and buy it from the metro bazaar or any bazaar, and that's the only solution.
to the supply chain network, it is a request genuinely someone coming from the industry to try to change the processes. Is what I'm trying to say. It's a request. That's all we can do sitting here in a session. Nothing else. We need to change the way we work. Na? We just can't keep doing what we have been doing for all these years. Na?
If it comes from 5 more chefs, then we will take.
Thank you.
Chef, no chef. Chef, in this scenario, as Sunil said, it's just a scenario of sustainability of vendor. Again, I know when your organization is putting much space in revenue generation and not allotting any space for storage of material, again that itself, when you are doing any project as a consultant, so then everyone should have that kind of similar proportion, like how much place you need for storage and how much place you need for operation. Again, when in this scenario you are not ready to convince that investor, then again ultimately we can't blame our vendors also. Again, then we have to have those kind of pro-efficient supply chain, and with the help of operation they have to manage all their things. So we also face the same issue, but if you are running multiple restaurants in one particular city, then you should have the one centralized place for storage and logistics in place. That's what we can say. And the recommendation which is put by you in front of us to convince the vendor. So that is again a debatable thing.
But I want to answer this, chef. Now, India is on the growth story. We are the 5th largest economy. Soon we'll be the 3rd largest economy. 65% of our population is under 35. We are going to be the youngest economy in the world. We will not just at this 8% of GDP growth, I can guarantee you we'll have to change the way we think. And I agree with you, Chef, partially. Yes, all of us will have to start working towards it. कौन मनाला तो मिस्टर नारायणन के you have to work for 72 hours? Narayan Murthy. We'll have to take that with pinch of salt. If we have to grow, हमें करना भी पड़ेगा. Not necessarily कि हम सबको अभी से शुरू करना है. So I agree with you, Chef, कि there will be a supply chain which has to be active after the working hours. तो जो suppliers at the moment, वैसे supplier वैसे भी रात भर भी देते हैं, but it's not that the deliveries can come. So we'll have to create that कि shift में आना, supply लेना, वो सारा होगा. वहाँ का परचेज मैनेजर HPMF मेंबर है भानु प्रताप सिंह. So obviously no, it is possible. India only the logistics is a challenge, Chef. But then we have to come out of it and we'll do it. So we'll have to think and then create some path for sure.
So thank you, sir, for again putting one more challenge for us. So we'll definitely work on that. So with this, we'll just conclude this session, and thank you so much everyone for attending this event and support us for this event. Thanks again.
Yeah. So there is no question, but it's a promise as far as ingredient is concerned. So I'm a co-founder of Lakshmi International Food, and especially we manufacture only 2 ingredients. One is hing and saffron. So जहाँ तक अभी शेफ ने बताया कि there is a lot of challenges in terms of ingredients. बाकी का तो मुझे पता नहीं, but I can promise कि आपको 1 किलो से लेकर के 100 kg तक I can supply any time.
ये एडवर्टाइजमेंट कर रहे हैं. ये इधर दिखा है क्या?
वो भी हो जाएगा सर, वो भी हो जाएगा, करेक्ट, वो भी होगा.
1 kilo saffron.
Thank you so much everyone. Thank you.